Patreon Saturdays, we are about to break down the final reunion. We're about to, for Beverly Hills, we're about to talk about Salt Lake. We're about to talk about all the real world. I mean, this BravoCon thing is still going on. The fallout between Melissa and Jen Aydin, this little PR boy that kind of escalated the whole thing. Ugh, I mean, why he still has a job is beyond me, but that's just me. If it was my PR, I would let him go. Anyway, we get into all of that over on Patreon today. The reunion, Kim and I fight. We just don't see eye to eye when it comes to Kathy and Rinna and all this other stuff. So here are a few clips and then head on over. We're doing RHONJ, we're doing Salt Lake City, and we're doing Beverly Hills. Enjoy. Kelly Ripa's Halloween costume, which you just sent me. She's Teresa with a crown.
It's hysterical. It's the wedding picture. She's got this big crazy, she's got these big, huge lips. When Kathy enters the room and when I see her face, I'm sorry. I don't want to use the word evil because that's really being cruel. I'm going to say I feel a discomfort inside myself of something that's not good, because they were slamming her left and right about her coldness and she just owned it, slamming her left and right.
Do you
when Andy said, well, it's not landing. Remember when he said, well, it's not landing? Yeah. I mean, she got slammed left and right. Kyle makes a lot of things about herself. She's a big crybaby. Yep. I think she cried because I think she is scared to death of Kathy. She was shaking in her boots. She's scared to death. That's when somebody cries like that heavy and sobbing, and she's just scared to death of her. She's scared to death of her. So you should never show a bully weakness. I think Kathy bullies Kyle, and I think she shows her weakness. And, it has a lot to do with the kids. And now Paris is against her with all that. It's just wow. Just wow. I think Kyle, Lisa, and Erica are still good friends. I think it's a front for now. Kyle knows.
That's
wow.
Yes.
Wow.
These viewers.
I don't know if Kim's strong enough. You have to understand, Kim has her issues, and the last thing she needs is to come on the show and get involved in this. She right now, like you said, her daughter's having a baby. Everything's fine in her. So she comes on the show. She could, turn to drugs and alcohol again. You don't know. She has an issue. She has problems. Some people are too weak for this. I mean, she's a wonderful person. She's cleared herself up. The last thing she needs is come into Kathy's drama. She's probably saying, I'm so glad I'm out of it. The show was not good for her. It's terrible. And we can go right to Jersey, where now they're posting all this stuff all over the internet. People are DMing me about about Joe Gorga, and now they're putting Frank's name continues to it, and how they took the house away from this was a long time ago this came out, but the Gorgas were like the Teflon Don. Anything that was said about the Gorgas, it just rolled right off. Everything. Now it's starting to stick. It's all over. I have people DMing me also. I don't want to report on this yet until I get a little bit more. There's another statement that somebody sent to me that it's actually Teresa talking on her podcast saying, Joe Gorga, that's not my brother. It's not meaning saying he's not. Yeah, because when he jumped up and said that his career as a stand-up comedian will last longer than her marriage, that really hit her and Louis hard. So it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse.
They unfollow each other. Did you see that?
Well, yeah, that happened a while ago. But this was, I think, the icing on the cake when Joe did that. That was the icing on the cake. I'm wondering what the Wakilis think, because the Gorgas dumped the Wakilis, threw them away like a stale crust of bread. So I'm wondering, I got to find out from Kathy and Richie, like, are they probably saying, well, finally the truth is out about the Gorgas? I mean, it should be interesting.
Because we all know, like, if the Gorgas get kicked off the show, do you think they will reconcile with the Wakilis?
I think they'll try. I don't know if the Wakilis will have it. And the Wakilis really are disgusted with them. I think even more than with Teresa. They're disgusted.
Do you think the Gorgas are going to go on an apology tour? Like, you'll be on the list.
1,000% apology tour. 1,000. I think they're going to be, shocked that finally everything hit them, because everything's coming out, including the kitchen sink. There is not one thing. People are going to all jump on this bandwagon. everything's going to finally come out. All the stuff that I've said throughout the years. And then I just said, I'm not even saying anything anymore. It's not even worth it because no one does anything about it. Listen, I'm telling you, when I owned the original Posh in Wayne, Joe's best man and best friend came in and told me that him and Joe were no longer friends, that this is a very long friendship. And because Joe supposedly used to use this guy's credit card. This was before like they were on the show, and then they got, because Joe's credit was bad. And then he would always pay the credit card, like when he went on vacations, because you need a credit card. And he ran up a $10,000 bill and he wasn't paying it. So the friend's like, listen, Joe, I can't afford this $10,000. And Joe didn't pay it. So the guy said, the best friend, best man says, Joe, how do you sleep at night? And Joe said, like a baby. So that's the kind of stories I would get from the original Posh. These people would come in because they knew I was there. But it just all was swept under the carpet. I mean, it's, so now we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't wish anything bad on anybody. I really don't. I tell also the story when I was with my mom. She had lung cancer. We were in the oncologist in Hackensack. A nurse comes in and she said, do you film with the Gorgas? I'm like, well, yeah. She goes, are you friends with them? I'm like, we're friendly. She goes, well, they want to outdo each other. The Gorgas had a bigger house than Teresa. Now Teresa has a bigger house than the Gorgas. Now Gorgas building another house that's bigger. Like, when are you satisfied? You love your husband. You're happy. You have healthy kids. Why is there always this deep, dark hole to constantly be filled? Why? I don't get it. You need bigger. You need better. You need more. Why? Why?
Well, you could ask Tom Girardi and you could ask Jen Shah. There's a
That's
lot of people.
right.
I mean, and a lot of other housewives, a lot.
Well, and you got to remember, each year, these producers pick someone that's going to be the villain and someone who's going to be the victim. And they'll go after their biggest stars. Look what they did to LVP. She was the biggest star on the show from the beginning, and she's off. And it already was Erica. It's been erased. Basically, Rinna gets it every year because she's always has to play the villain, So yeah. So let me ask you this: besides being a snooze fest on Salt Lake,
snooze.
Here's snooze. But I'm going to tell you my synopsis of what is going on with Lisa Barlow.
Tell me.
Why didn't Lisa?
I think we need a little Mary Cosby. She was off her rocker.
I don't know. All I know is, and then you had Seth talking about Brett Favre's, which I happen to think Brett Favre's is really hot too. But that was an interesting conversation too. And you know who's just so sweet? Jen Shah's husband. Jen Shah's husband is just a sweet, so when you say opposites attract, what more opposite can that be? He is like the salt of the earth. And here is this Jen Shah showing up in like these designer things, throwing away bracelets. Speaking of BravoCon, didn't your friend Jennifer Aydin get escorted out the next morning after she threw the glass of water? I heard they went to her door, security, and asked her to leave the hotel. Is this true? Also, can I just say something? I called Dolores yesterday. I'm not going to get into the whole conversation. I feel terrible about her car. She was home with Paulie. The people were supposed to come to details of the car. They were asking each other where the key was. Paulie goes outside and said, your car is gone.
Okay, so don't get into the whole conversation, Kim, but slow your ass down. I got some questions. What did Dolores say about the Gorgas and Jen and this little PR boy that kind of heightened the whole thing? What does she say about Teresa and Joe and the Gorgas on following each other? What does she say about Teresa's love bubble? What does she say about next season? I hear Margaret doesn't get along with Danielle Cabral. So not so fast, kid. If you call Dolores, I want to know how that phone conversation went. And we go there, guys. So head on over to Patreon and hear what Kim has to say about this phone call and the end of the reunion for RHOBH. Oh my God, Kim and I fight. I'm so glad this season is over. We just don't see eye to eye. Oh, when it comes to Rinna and Kathy and Erica and so many other things. But that's okay. That's what the world is made up of. I'm okay to agree to disagree. And of course, we talk more about Salt Lake. So head on over to Patreon and enjoy.